Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to get better? Maybe it's not because you're not trying hard enough. Maybe you're carrying habits that are silently keeping you stuck, and you don't even realize it. It sounds bitter, I know, but it's the truth. Poor people and rich people don't differ just by how much money they have. They differ in how they think, how they act, and how they respond to life. In this video, you're about to uncover 10 habits, small on the surface, but quietly pulling your entire life backwards. Some will shock you. Some, you're probably doing every single day. And maybe, just maybe, realizing even one of them is the first step to stepping out of your own shadow. If content like this makes you see things differently, hit subscribe, because the next video might be exactly what you need when life feels the darkest. You might not be poor because you're not smart. You might just be too busy with things that don't make you smarter. How many times have you picked up your phone just to relax for 5 minutes? Then found yourself still scrolling 2 hours later? How many times have you binged an entire series but postponed that business idea, again, because maybe tomorrow? Here's the truth. Poor people don't lack time. They just use it wrong. Rich people also have 24 hours a day. But while you're watching other people's lives, they're quietly building their own. Someone once said, if you don't build your own dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. And the scariest part? You're already doing that, without realizing it. Try one day with no social media, no Netflix, no endless browsing. Instead, grab a pen and write down 3 things you've always wanted to start but never did. And take the tiniest step toward just one of them. 1 hour a day. You'll be shocked by what happens after 3 months. Time isn't lost. It just flows into someone else's pocket when you don't know how to use it. And once you begin protecting your time, watch out for the next trap, because this one hides in plain sight. The people around you might be quietly dragging you down, and you don't even see it. If you look around and realize you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. This isn't theory, it's social math. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If they're lazy, bitter, shallow, careless with money, guess what? You're slowly becoming the same. Not because you want to, but because their energy seeps into you, quietly, daily, until you no longer realize what you've given up. Someone once said, if you hang out with 5 motivated people, you'll become the 6th. If you hang with 5 losers, guess who's next? It sounds intense, but it's a wake-up call. You can't fly high if you're always tethered to low clouds. So what should you do? You don't have to cut off everyone from your past, but you do need to add people who make you want to rise higher. Think deeper, become more, find someone doing what you wish you were doing. Listen to them, watch them, learn. Slowly, you'll step into a reality where growth isn't rare, it's normal. But sometimes, it's not others holding you back. It's you. It's the voice in your head whispering, you're not good enough. Have you ever had a brilliant idea that made your heart race? A project, a product, a channel, a book, something you wanted to bring to life? And then that voice came. Who do you think you are to do this? That's not the world judging you. That's you, rejecting yourself. Poverty doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins the moment you believe you don't deserve more. And what's worse, we rarely say, I'm not good enough, out loud. It hides behind missed job applications, declined opportunities, silences we keep when we should have spoken up. The most dangerous kind of poverty is the poverty of self-belief. But guess what? Nobody is good enough at the start. The wealthy, the successful, the people you admire, they also felt small, stupid, not ready. But instead of believing that voice, they acted anyway. They wrote their first line, sent their first email, made their first mistake, learned from it. You can too. List the things you've told yourself you can't do. Then pick the smallest one and start it today. Not to win, but to prove to yourself, you're no longer hiding in that tiny mental box. And once you believe you can change, beware of the next trap. Because many people spend years spinning in circles, thinking they're moving forward. Have you ever worked all day, only to end the night wondering, what did I actually accomplish? That's the sweet, sticky trap of busyness. Poor people are busy, but going nowhere. They juggle to-do lists, small tasks, useless emails, not to get results, but to feel they matter. Why? Because being busy lets them hide from the emptiness. It makes them feel useful. But being busy isn't the same as moving forward. Busyness doesn't mean you're alive. Successful people know. Not everything that can be done should be done. Doing more isn't the same as doing right. They don't stay busy to survive. They choose what truly matters and give it everything. What about you? Are you writing 100 tasks just to avoid feeling worthless? Or are you brave enough to cross out 90 and focus on just one? Try this tomorrow morning. Before you check your phone, write down just 3 tasks. 3 things that, if done, will actually move your life forward. Then do them. First, no scrolling, no excuses, no fake productivity. Because running in circles will never take you anywhere. Busyness is just a fancier form of procrastination. But sometimes we procrastinate not because we're lazy, but because we're scared to be different. Scared of what others will say. Scared to walk alone. Have you ever killed a dream just because you feared people might think you're weird? We're taught to fit in, to blend, to be normal enough to be accepted. But here's the thing. Every person who ever changed the world was once called crazy. If you live your life trying to please others, you'll never live it as yourself. Poor people often choose safety, they stay quiet. Follow the crowd. Never ask why. Never dare to think or act differently. And then 10 years pass. No one remembers their name. No one knows they had dreams. Because they never even started living. Someone once said, a bird will never learn to fly if it keeps trying to swim like a fish. You don't need to fit in. You need to stand out once and stand strong. Try this today. Write down one thing you've always wanted to do, but didn't because of what people might say. Now take one small step toward it. Then notice, the world didn't end, but your inner world just began to shift. And once you start walking your own path, you'll uncover a deeper truth. Comfort is easy, but growth? That takes sacrifice. You choose. A cozy night with snacks and endless scrolling. Or sitting alone with a book. Learning something new. Writing down that messy plan. Facing the fear that says, you're not ready yet. Poor people choose comfort. Rich people choose growth. It sounds harsh, but you can't have both. Your brain is wired for easy. That's biology. But if you give in to comfort every day, you're trading your future for 5 minutes of ease. That's why you skip the gym because you're a little tired. You don't learn new skills because you don't need them yet. You don't invest because it might be risky. And then, year after year, you stay the same, just older. Someone once said, you will suffer the pain of discipline, or the pain of regret. You choose. So today, choose the harder thing. Turn off the show. Close the app. Open the book. Write the plan. The first 5 minutes will be hard. The next 15 will feel a little better. And after an hour, you might feel something shift. That tiny shift, repeated daily, is the life you're searching for. But action isn't enough. Real growth starts with asking different questions. And to do that, you have to stop following the script. Have you ever asked yourself, why am I doing this? You work, graduate, get a job, get married, spend money, save later, just like everyone else. But you never stop to ask, why? Why buy a house right after marriage? Why take a job you hate for 8 hours a day? Why not write your own script? Poor people rarely question the system. They follow the crowd. Rich people question everything. Then they write their own answers. Someone once said, successful people aren't smarter. They just ask better questions and listen closely to the answers. Try this. Open your camera, look at yourself, and ask, what am I doing just because everyone else is doing it? Write down the answer. That single moment of honesty might put you miles ahead of everyone still asleep in autopilot. And once you think differently, something inside you stirs. You start to feel that idea coming back. The one you left in a drawer years ago. A book, a business, a dream. You had that idea. You felt the fire. But then you paused. You told yourself, I'll do it when I'm ready. Here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. Only the moment you start. Rich people don't succeed because they have better ideas. They win because they start while others keep editing their plans. You know how many businesses fail? About 90% in their first 3 years. But here's a sadder number. 100% of ideas that never start fail forever. So here's a challenge. Take that idea you can't stop thinking about. Write 3 small steps to begin. Pick one. Do it today. You don't need to tell the world. You just need to take one step outside your waiting zone. But even when you step out, There's one toxic belief many people still carry, quietly destroying their potential. They think someone will come save them. Have you ever silently wished that someone, a rich uncle, a kind boss, a lucky break, would notice your struggle and give you a way out? We were raised on stories of fairy godmothers and heroes. And then we live as if our story works the same. Poor people don't just lack money. They lack the belief that they can change their life without being saved. So they wait, they complain, they pray for policies, miracles, someone. Rich people? They don't wait. They dig. They climb. They build their own door when no one opens one for them. Someone once said, if you keep waiting for someone to rescue you, you'll drown in your own dream. So instead of asking, who will help me? Ask, if no one helps, what can I still do? Here's a tiny mindset shift. Write down 3 things you're waiting for others to do for you. Now cross out their names. Replace them with, I will handle this by. That one shift can flip the entire story of your life. Not because you know exactly how, but because now, you've chosen to stand. And finally, perhaps the most dangerous habit that keeps people poor is not their effort, or money, or time. It's the habit of blaming. I'm poor because my parents had nothing. I can't succeed because the system's unfair. I tried, but life just doesn't like me. Sound familiar? Poor people don't call it blaming. They call it being realistic. But the moment you blame your situation, you give up your power to change it. That's the trap. And that's what keeps people stuck for life. Rich people? Many started with nothing. Some slept in cars. Some had no help. But they didn't blame. They asked, what can I still control? They didn't wait for fairness. They built it. There's a quote worth hanging on your wall. Life isn't what happens to you. It's how you respond to what happens. And your response starts today. Instead of saying, I'm poor because I was born poor, say, I'll be the last poor person in my family. One sentence. But it might break a cycle that's lasted for generations. Because when you stop blaming, you start becoming someone who leads. And that is the beginning of everything. You've just walked through 10 things the rich never do, but the poor often do every single day. Maybe you saw yourself in 3 of them, or 7, or all 10. It's okay. Realization is step 1 to transformation. Poverty isn't a sentence. It's a temporary chapter, if you're willing to turn the page. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just one habit a day. And soon, you'll look back and realize, you're no longer the same person who watched this video with doubt in your eyes. You've become someone who chooses. Someone who acts. Someone who leads. And before you leave, if this video helped shift your thinking, drop a comment with the one idea that hit you the hardest. Not to impress anyone, but to mark the start of your own turning point. Because sometimes, one comment can plant a seed that grows into a new direction for someone else. And for you.